We're recording?
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Artsy, sister, and we're reading Saturnastra, Karina. This is lesson 2, part 2, on bar etiquette. Yeah, Janus, why is that, I wonder? It is almost as if you forget that I am Marduke's sister. She took out a knife and she stabbed the table near him. She added with a crazy look in her face, and I have a knife too, so take that. Janus started trembling. The eerie silence was broken by the old man laughing. Karina too started laughing as she put her knife away. Smiling, she said, "You take life way too seriously." "Barkeep, give some bubbly to all of my students." 5 bubblies coming right out, said the bartender, opening 5 bubblies for Karina and her students. For Carmenta, she finished making her the drink she had ordered seconds ago. Said Carmenta was the only person of legal drinking age. She had ordered a peach cobbler. The bubblies was a type of drink with bubbles introduced to the bar scene by Marduke. It was usually mixed with other alcoholic drinks, but it could be drunk plain. It was given in its normal state to whatever underage minor happened to sneak into the bar. The bubbly produced by this particular bar was called the Final Stop. It was a carbonated soft drink flavored with ginger, sugarcane, and green limes. After sipping her drink a little, Karina said, "Ah yes, the lesson. I figure that since statistically speaking, all of you are going to wind up at the bar at some point of your life, you might as well see what all of the fuss is about and what to expect and how to behave in such a place to avoid trouble." The statistics say you're going to end up in a bar. Makes sense, said Casimir, who had nothing better to do. Babysel thought it was so crazy talk, and Janus was still petrified due to the nice incident. As for Lucian, he was doing some calculations in his head. He was listening, but his eyes had become fixated on the bubble and how long it took for the barkeep to serve his client, and Lucian wondered which was the most efficient way of handling drinks. Was just giving the clients the illusion that you actually cared about their petty problems. Carmenta said, "Aside from drinking, tell the students what they are supposed to do in a bar." "A bar is a good place to cheat in your spouse," said Karina. "It is no longer illegal, but it is still frowned upon, and if it escalates to domestic violence, the offending parties could be both exiled, separated, or forced into a divorce." "Divorce is quite an ugly business. It destroys families," commented Janus. "It is better than being forced to live with someone you hate," said the old man, who was in a jollier mood. He added, "Marriage is a complicated business. It is best that outsiders do not meddle in it." There you have it. That is the problem with today's climate. Marriage is more a business venture. "Even so, marriage to love has its own drawbacks," said Karina. "How so?" asked Casimir. "You read about its awesomeness in books. I would imagine that marrying for love would be the ideal scenario." "Well, you know the old saying as to what happens when poverty comes knocking at your door," said Karina. "Like the old saying is that when poverty knocks, love flies out the window." Anyhow, aside from cheating on your spouse, there's the gambling aspect. Also, it gives you something to do, and when you're bored at home and you don't have a child or a pet to break the monotony of your routine, more bars tend to offer discounts to ladies. The reason is that the more rich Jews visit and pay for the drinks, they do that when there's a pretty face around. And there's also the music. Real soon there's going to be a live band and some dancing. Dancing is something most people enjoy. Others visit to make friends or just to add the illusion of some companionship. This world is a very lonely place, and even when you're surrounded by people, you cannot help but feel alone. "Do you feel lonely sometimes?" asked Carmenta. "Not lonely, but nostalgic," said Karina, more to herself. "Nostalgic for what?" asked Janus. The music started, and Karina rose from the bar stool. Since she was a pretty maiden, the bored nobleman started buzzing around her. She ignored their presence, and she started to dance in a song only she could hear. She danced strangely, so the men started to gravitate away from her. Pretty or not, most humans do not have patience for crazy people. While waiting in the bar, Janus saw Santaria di Artio. She was in the army, and her squad had gone into the bar to unwind. Janus had not seen her for almost 3 years due to the war. She seemed to be the same little girl from before, only that she had put on a lot of muscle and height. Despite the most of the maid was still pretty feminine, with lovely hands and well-toned legs and a pretty childish face, with large green eyes and naturally red lips, and short brown curly hair. Her skin was tanned due to the fact that she spent so much time outdoors doing military exercises. Suntaria was the daughter of the prominent judge called Katiana. Katiana was working on reforming the justice system. Like Marduke believed that punishment should fit the severity of the crime, and under the old system, the severity was quite arbitrary, and such as a person who had their ears near to the door for selling termite ridden furniture to people. And Suntaria following her mother's footsteps, so she had enrolled in the army. Only people within the army were allowed to be judges. Suntaria greeted Janus, and the two started talking about old times. Eventually, Janus and Suntaria decided to dance, and the two left their gear behind. Suntaria left her sword, and Janus left his school pack. Since Babysel felt a little bit left out, he went to the dance floor to dance by himself. Eventually, he returned along with Karina to the bar to have a drink or two. Carmenta said, "I'm going home." "Yeah, me too." "Time?"
9 minutes.
"I think you got the whole bar scene lesson or whatever," said Karina Johnny. "Oh, me too," said Lucian. "Pay the time, cause I got places to be." Karina waited to get attention of the barkeep. It was just then when Casimir whispered something to Janus, who nodded in response. Janus passed a message to Babysel, who also nodded. The boys left together to dance to see if they could pick up any maidens that belonged to Suntaria's unit. The boys left behind their packs unattended. They assumed that Karina and the others would look after them. "What a douche," said Karina. "Yeah, cheap ploy if you ask me," said Carmenta. "Why must people always try to control others' actions?" said Karina. Karina left after paying the tab. Carmenta lingered a little, and then she decided to go home. Lucian was the last to leave, and he was talking to him, but a little voice in his head that he heard from time to time. In the end, he said to the old man, "You will look after these bags. I am going home." As soon as Lucian left, the old man said, "No more kids these days. One would think they'll have slaves to take care of their luggage." "There are no more slaves," reminded the barkeep. "Ah, yes, I forget. But what about servants?" "They don't look rich enough to afford servants," commented the barkeep. "I am curious to see if they have money," said the old man, reaching out to rummage through their backpacks. After half an hour, the students finally noticed that their teacher was gone, along with Lucian and Carmenta. In addition to their absence, their items had been stolen. It was then when they learned what else bars were good for. Alright, we're done with this lesson. Bye bye and God bless. The bar is a good place to get mugged. Bye.